What's going on, everybody? How we doing this morning?
Mhm.
Welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. How you doing, Chill Town?
Running good this morning or this afternoon on the East Coast in the morning and out west where you at. Running good, Joe. Running good.
Right on, right on. Well, yesterday was a pretty exciting day. It was, technically, Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson and
Mm-hmm.
Amin Thompson. It was pretty much all of their debut to the
Mm-hmm.
NBA,
Mm-hmm.
be it summer league or not. It was still a NBA competition.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming, you checked it out, right,
I
Chita?
did watch it. Yes, sir. I did.
Okay, were you
Yes, sir.
impressed by anything
I
last night?
was. The thing I dig about Scoop more than anything, because at the end, Big Ox, we all know that this is basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I check from a lot of guys is I check your competitive spirit. Like, are you going to back down from guys? Are you going to I know it's summer league, but who are you going to compete? Are you going to compete? I remember watching Colin Sexton in the summer league, and one of the things I
Oh
dug
yeah.
about him right from the beginning was that he wasn't backing down from nobody. I really dug that about him. I get that same energy from Scoot. Scoot's ability to get in the lane, Scoot's ability to get by guys. He could do all of those things. My question is he going to compete? One of the main reasons why Russell Westbrook was what he was, because Russ was going to compete. And that's what I was looking for from Scoot. And he did not disappoint with that, man. His ability to get in the lane. Again, it's the summer league. So we got stuff that we need to work on, which is now the best time to do it. Him being a defender, still learning the pro game, still trying to figure out the pace of the game, understanding the pro offense. That's all going to come with time. But the other stuff, you really can't teach that. So
Right.
him being competitive, right? Him getting down in the stance and competing on defense. I really dug that about him. Him
Yeah.
getting out in the open floor. I really dug that about him. That was a great battle yesterday, yo. The thing
Mm-hmm.
I really dug the fact that Jabari Smith played in the summer league. I said this to you
Yeah.
already, Big Ox. I'm trying to figure out why these guys don't play in the summer league more. Well, Scoot, he hurt his shoulder yesterday, and Amin Thompson, he rolled his ankle. Yo, he could have rolled his ankle playing pickup. He could have rolled his ankle and work. He could have rolled his ankle working out. So this right here is a great time to play against live competition. Once again, these guys that they playing against, a lot of them probably won't make a roster, but that's also going on in some. That's also going on in pickup. Like you probably playing against really good competition, but the majority of them dudes ain't gonna be on the NBA roster because you're not playing everywhere where there's NBA players. This right here, you playing in your system. They understand. They understand. They're trying to get a better understanding of you. You trying to get a better understanding of what they want, and this is the best option for you in order to get better, as opposed to I'm going to play in pickup where I might get hurt just like I get hurt here. I might play well just like I play well here. What better place to do it than play right here where you're in a controlled environment, playing against great competition, and now you understand what it is that you need to do. So I'm really digging what I saw from Scoot yesterday.
I thought so about Scoot
Mm-hmm.
specifically. I like the way he competed, but you know what? I thought Scoot was a little bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, I guess disappointed. I don't know.
Well,
I was just wrong about his size. I thought he was bigger.
that's because he plays bigger. That's why.
Right.
He plays a lot bigger. He gets to the rim with the best of them. He gets in the lane, finishes with the best of them, strong as an ox. No pun
Facts.
intended. But with that being said, he's only 6'2". That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically Damian Lillard size, but he plays bigger. So, when you see him play, you probably thinking automatically, yo, he play like he like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
But he's not that big. Nah. Mm-mm.
Right.
So
So what about Amin? What about Amin Thompson? What did you see from him?
yes, I saw a lot of athleticism. I saw finishing at the rim. I saw a know-how to get to spots, not just with the basketball. On defense, he looked a little lost, and that's I understand that part because again, you still got to get adjusted to the pro game. But the other stuff, the intangibles like rebounding the basketball on the offensive end, trying to defend in the meat and potatoes of the game, stuff like that, you can't really teach that. because that's just heart. That's just determination. I like what I saw with him. He had a finish in the first half. He had a finish in the first half with the weekend where he ended up getting an and one. And I'm thinking to myself, I like what I'm seeing from this kid. He looks like he's got a really good feel for the game more than anything. And that's big. That's big, Ox. When you playing against when you playing against pros at that level, that's huge, yo, because that means that there's not a lot of stuff that I need to teach you outside of your just genuine feel for the game. Because Big Ox, you say to me all the time, yo, get busy. What that means, folks, when Big Ox says get busy, I can only X and O you for a certain amount of time. At some point, yo, go to work.
Right,
and that's what Amen Thompson looks like he has. He has that ability to, I need a bucket or I need a big play, go to work. And that's what the feel for the game is with him. And he looks like he has that. So that's a big thing. I will say this, though. I will say this to you, Ox. From watching Jabari Smith, who got busy in the second half, right? He was making shots. He was defending. And he got on the backboard like I was hoping. Big Ox, Ime Udoka got his hands full with these kids. He does.
In a good way?
In a good and a bad way. Because because the upside is there's a lot of potential in these kids.
Yeah.
A lot of potential in Jabari Smith. There's a lot of potential in Amen Thompson, right? There's a lot of potential in Jalen Green. But you got to work out a lot of kid stuff. Don't get me wrong that this is the game and you're supposed to love it and it's supposed to be fun. And I'm all for that, 100%. But there has to be a level of seriousness. There has to be a level of seriousness. There has to be a level of discipline. And that's not there right now. I know it's summer league. But that's one of the things that he's going to have to work out with these kids. He's got his hands full. But the trajectory with these kids, if he can get them disciplined, it's through the roof. It's through the roof.
Yeah, I would say so. So speaking of a couple of those kids, though, those young men, so Jabari, Tari Eason, guys like that, that's still some. What did you think about them last night? Like, did you see kind of a step up? Because Tari and Jabari are both sophomores now.
Again, I am big on playing in the summer league because you're getting your skill set sharpened. And I was huge on Jabari Smith coming in the draft. I thought Houston stole him. I was very happy that they drafted him. I think he's taken a step forward. I think he's getting better. I think he'll be able to score more. I think Mars has said to me that he thinks he's Trevor Ariza.
Yeah.
I think he's better than that. I do. I think that he's going to be a better scorer. I think he's an all-league defender at some point. Eason is a step behind him, but he's also getting better. Yeah. He's also getting better too. I would have expected a bigger leap from a guy like Eason, considering where Houston is, because this is the time again for guys to. I'm not concerned with contracts just yet, but this is the time for guys to get better. This is the time for guys to show improvement. And Jabari Smith looks like he's a huge building block on what they're doing. I can't say with 100% certainty that Eason is going to be that. To be honest with you, Ox, if you saw that pass that he threw to Jabari Smith, that was a wing and a prayer. He just heaved it. I mean, it wasn't like he was actually looking for him. He just heaved it. So the thing I appreciate about Jabari Smith is his ball handling is getting better. He looks like he's becoming better at reading not just reading defenses offensively. On the defensive end, he looks like he's becoming better at reads. When I say reads is looking at a guy and being able to anticipate one-on-one what this guy is going to do. He looks like he's getting better at that. And that's huge for Houston because, again, I think he's an all-league defender at some point.
Right. Kind of taking a step back to Amen, just wanted to point out something that I was kind of liked about his game. I liked his change of speed. He's big. He's 6'7". He's super fast when he accelerates. It's just he's there, But I like the fact that he's not just trying to just be faster than everybody all the time. From what I did see, I did like that he can change his speed, shift gears, So that's big for a young fella.
That's what we was talking about, Big Ox. When you talk about a feel for the game, he knows when to speed it up. He knows when to slow it down. And with knowing that, in the words of my man Big Ox, he knows when to get busy.
Exactly.
He knows when to get busy. If the game is fast, he'll be more apt to get a guy like Jabari Smith, right? Get a guy like Jalen Green more involved, get himself involved in transition. If the game is slowing down and he got a mismatch, he's got a feel for the game. So he'll know I can take this guy or I can get Jalen Green going because he's got it going. That kind of feel for the game idea. So, yeah, that's definitely there.
Right. And I guess moving on now to what I assume was the game of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the number 1 and number 2 picks against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe there's people calling Vic a bust after that game?
Just so we clear, as much as, like I said, I'm a huge summer league fan, but again, it is summer league, so let's chill out, right? Like if he would have went for 40 last night, what would people have been saying? Yo, he's the future. I still feel like he's that. I still feel like he's the future. He's at 18 years old, 19 years old, his feel for the game, his knowledge of the game is what. And this is a kid who said, quote, I really didn't know what I was doing out there. And he still looked like he was better than everybody. And he didn't really know what he was doing. Rim protecting, shot blocking, man in the paint. The shots that he normally makes, a lot of that stuff looked like it was nerves more than anything. It looked like a kid who, I really don't know what I'm doing, and I'm kind of I'm a fish out of water right now. But the stuff that I do know how to do, that's not going to affect my overall performance. So he does know how to rebound. Mm-hmm. He does know how to rim protect. He will run the floor. He does know how to cover space. Brandon Miller tried to shoot a 3 over him from like 24 feet, and he was able to get to that shot and block it. So that's the thing we're talking about with covering ground, right? This guy's ability to cover space, and not just cover space, but to get out in transition once he blocks the shot. So now when he's playing with a better point guard, right? He's playing with a better guard. He's going to be looked for even more. Him getting on the backboard, he's going to learn from guys like Tim Duncan, who's going to show him how to position himself to rebound, how to block shots. He's going to learn from David Robinson how to man the paint, where to be. That stuff's going to be really important. What I saw from him last night was I saw a kid trying to figure it out more than anything. Mm-hmm. And as time goes on, he's going to get better. Ox, I'm on record. I think he's the future of basketball. I think this is what the league is going to look like in the next 10 to 15 years.
Okay. My quick take on what I saw is just that change of direction from the defensive end just ain't there yet. Mm-hmm. And I say yet because I'm assuming he can get a little quicker. Mm-hmm. But when the guy saw it was the one play that he fouled Brandon Miller when it was mm-hmm. He crossed back. Wemby had to step up. He gave him a little head fake. Wemby mm-hmm. came out of that position, and he's done right there. And mm-hmm. that was the main thing I was saying about it. And I'm not. Yes, so the NBA, it's a level up from mm-hmm. playing over there. I mean, we all know that. It's it's no disrespect to the fellas over there, but that's just what it is. He's gonna have a little harder time doing that over here. And I mean, we saw that, but 5 blocks. He got dunked on by Kai, but I mean, Kai is he's a freak in the air, so it's like they'll dunk on anybody. So I wasn't really obviously that getting dunked on like that by Kai Jones holds no weight to me as far as like how good you are. But there's just a couple things I think he's just going to get better at. Like how you were saying, working with Tim Duncan, he's going to get mm-hmm. better at positioning on defense. Taking the fake with your back leg instead of your front leg. Just certain things that he'll learn on the defensive end as well. So I'm ready. But
plus,
the other guy.
Plus, not to cut you off, Big Oxing, hold that thought. Plus, people are going to remember him getting dunked on. They're going to completely forget the fact that, I mean, didn't they win last night?
I believe. Oh, yes, they did. They did, yes.
And not only did they win, his 5 blocks had a lot to do with that.
Right.
So the fact that he got dunked on once, all right, I'll eat that. As opposed to him protecting the rim like that, what people remember more than anything is they don't remember getting dunked on more than I got my shot blocked. So I'm less apt to go in there with a guy protecting the rim like that, as opposed to a guy that's not really protecting the rim, and I could get whatever I want to get off against him. So, as you were saying, Big Ox.
Well, actually, I'm happy you did stay there for a second because I was going to move on to the next player.
Yeah.
But even after the game, Wemby was saying conditioning. He just got to. He's like, man, I got to get in better. Basically, like, yo, I got to get in better shape. I got to get right. To play these minutes and play at this level. So it's it's good to see the young fella acknowledging that. It's always good to know that they know what the problem is. When you figure the problem out that way, you can fix the problem. If you're just out there kind of like, hey, I just I don't got it, then that's different. But so moving on though, because you said a couple things about Brandon Miller already from the previous games and kind of looking a little lost out there. Did you see anything different last night, or
he was more confident? He was more confident in shot. That was what that's what he was more confident in. However, he likes to get behind that long ball line. I know that's the game today, Big Ox, but he likes to get behind that long ball line, and that can be a problem moving forward because that's taken away from other aspects of his game. He still doesn't look comfortable in that offense. And I don't mean just in the summer league. I mean the pace of the game. He takes a lot of bad shots. And I know it's summer league, and I know you're trying to figure out where your spots are. I know you're trying to figure out what places to get to. But when we're talking about a guy that's 6'8", 6'9", transition should be transition should be at the top of the list for me because the game is so fast. I'm looking more at stopping pops, right? I'm looking because again, when you play in summer league, the game is up and down. The game doesn't slow down until we get late in the game. So early in the game, I'm looking for stuff like stop and pop. I'm looking for easy layups because you got guys, especially point guards in the summer league, that are looking to make the squad or at least get an invite to camp. How you going to do that? You're going to do that by looking for the star player. If he's in transition more, getting easy layups, stopping pops, finishing at the rim, that gives me confidence. Once I see the ball go through the hoop, that gives me confidence to shoot in other spots. He's looking more like he's lost within the offense. Like he's trying too hard, dribbling in the double teams, not just dribbling in the double teams, dribbling in the spaces where he shouldn't be. That's all reading defenses. That's something that he doesn't really seem to be good at right now. Where you can exchange that, right? Where you can supplement that is getting out in the open floor, getting in transition, getting easy looks, getting stopping pops. Because running with a dude like LaMelo is going to find you. If you open, he is definitely going to find you. So what better place to start doing that than right here? He doesn't really seem to have that feel for that yet. I don't think Jay got it wrong with him. I just think that he's got some work to do, a lot of work to do with him.
Yeah, I can see that. He definitely does have the talent. Definitely does. So real quick before we get to the fellas in the back, let's go through the super chats that we do have. Obviously, as everybody here knows, the super chats do run the show. They are a priority, and we will get to all of them. So we'll start with this one from Country Boy. Thoughts on the Rockets' debut? Jabari, Tari, Amin. Kind of touched on that already.
Yeah,
but
I like these kids, man. I do. I like what you guys are building in Houston. I think that you on to something. I think that there's some discipline that needs to be had. There's some kinks that need to be worked out. And who better than Ime Udoka to do that? Because again, I think that in terms of a talent standpoint, these guys, their trajectory is really good. But the discipline, the know-how, these guys need to learn how to be pros. And I don't think they know that yet. And I think that Coach Ime Udoka is going to be there to show them how to do that. So, yeah. But I like what they're doing in Houston. I do. Especially Jabari Smith. You know how I feel about him. I'm a big Jabari Smith fan.
From Kimon Thomas, I think Amin's ceiling is Penny Hardaway. Agree?
I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I don't think he's the athlete that Penny was. And I think he's a really good athlete, but I don't think he's the athlete that Penny was. But his ceiling should be higher than Penny's because if you think about, Penny got beat up a little bit. Penny was hurt a lot. I don't want his. I think his ceiling. I think his ceiling should be. What I don't want to do is I don't want to compare him to anybody like Penny Hardaway just yet because I don't think he's that good. Like Penny coming into the league was something special. We're talking about a guy in Penny Hardaway who played 2 years of college this kid didn't play college. He's basically coming right out of high school because that's essentially what this overtime league is. It's an extended version of AAU. So I'm not going to compare him to Penny Hardaway just yet. No, I want to see what he can do first. Like what I saw in this little bit of time, I can't really get a gauge on him being Penny Hardaway yet. No, because I think that a lot of people discount how good Penny Hardaway was, and I'm not sure that this kid is that good. No, or he could be that good. No.
It might be easy to discount Penny Hardaway when you got guys convincing you that Jamal Murray is way better than him.
You ain't convincing me of that.
Ticket, if you're out there, I need you to stop that campaign. I need you to cease. I need you to cease and desist right now, brother. Right now.
Do not.
Let me grab a couple of the fellas back here. Let's see how they felt about the summer league. Davion, random guys. What's up with y'all?
What up? What up, fellas?
What's going on, y'all?
Did y'all check the games out last night? Or
unfortunately, I had to work, so right after y'all stream, I'm gonna go watch Wemby's because I got YouTube TV, so I got that whole thing. I got like 8 hours to watch.
Well, it's fortunate that you had to watch, that you had to work, man. The bills got to get paid, brother.
Absolutely,
keep that work up.
Absolutely. But I had a different question. I wanted to actually ask this on you, Fluent and Chill. I just unfortunately had to work. But with the recent layoffs that the ESPN been doing, I want to talk to y'all a little bit about how the mainstream media kind of working right now. Like for instance, one thing that really bothered me especially for Joel is that I think the further and further we go, especially if Joel just keeps flaming out in the playoffs, and Jokic keeps ascending to being maybe a top 10 center all time, is the fact that I know he never said it, but we all know what he meant when he made that 1990 stat about all the white players that won MVP. And that always bothered me because I know if, let's just say, to use another sport, for example, in baseball, where there are not a lot of black people, right? Just the percentage. Then let's just say we have Jazz Chisholm. I believe he plays for the Marlins, and he balls out. And he balls out that year. And then he beats out, like, I don't know, Mike Trout. I don't know baseball like that. Right. If somebody in that sport made that exact same argument, I think that dude's getting fired. He's losing his job. And that's why you've been watching, especially when he lied about the MVP voters and all that. And I'm like, yo, if I was running that company, I would have real problems with what Kendrick Perkins said because he knew exactly what he was doing. And I don't care what nobody says. I like you, thought Joel Embiid was the best player. He deserved that MVP. But to make it seem like it's going to change the perception. Also, I don't care what anybody says. That definitely changed some voters' opinions. Like on that, even though obviously rightfully the Nuggets slowed down the stretch, and Joel Embiid,
you think we still live in that space though? When you're talking about it, I don't mean politics, but I'm just talking about ball players. You think we still live in that space? I
think it's also that way because Jokic's game compared to the other Europeans that we got, like Giannis's game is flashy. It's built like I don't know how to say, like more American style. Like he jumps out the gym, he does all this. Jokic's game is like. It's like when you go to the YMCA, you watch the old man who's giving people buckets.
Right. So it's really vanilla.
It's vanilla. He also Jokic isn't flashy. My dude just like, look, if the parade wasn't awesome, he'd be back with his horses watching them run. So that's why I've noticed ever since that take, and then ESPN had to like legitimately have Molly on First Take be like, hey, Kendrick was wrong. And you've been watching Kendrick ever since then glazing Jokic.
Right.
And he's been.
I'm sure he had to get in front of the suits and let them know that y'all got to clean this up.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, I would have liked it if he came out and personally apologized because putting stuff out like that, it's not like it. I understand the apology will not have the same effect as what he said, right? But you can't be doing that because if I was running that company, and there are other things like Shams, how he had a burner attacking Russell Westbrook, and also he's affiliated with FanDuel, we got to deal with them, and he's launched and he gives out news that changes odds. So, but what if FanDuel's like, hey, how about you say this about LaMelo and change the odds of this because they got to deal with them. There's just certain things that bother me. Other than that, I'm excited.
Like a conspiracy.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm excited for Scoot in particular. I'm like with Ticket. I think Scoot could be something special. It's just that he can't. His shot's not there, but maybe with work. Because that's the one thing I'm excited to see. I believe it's him and our man, right? Who squared off yesterday. That's the one I'm really excited to see.
Right.
Yeah. And Wemby from the highlights I saw on Bleacher Report, obviously, you can't make things up. But like Ox said, he looked slow. He looked a little tentative. And also, like, it's the first time he's playing in the American game. So I know I watched a little bit of the panel yesterday. You thought he was going to show out. I thought, I'm like, look, let's see how he had, because everything's different. The rules are different. The game's different. The people you about to play is different. Also, the players on the other side, the Hornets, they're going to be playing a little bit better because, this is the guy.
It was a sellout yesterday, by the way.
Yeah. Davion, what did you see? Did you watch it or you came up for something else?
I caught up a little bit of it, but first, before I speak about the summer league, I was going to say about what he said. I think the way with Kendrick Perkins about like what he said about the voting or whatever, I think because basketball was run off so many narratives, they didn't take it as far as like, it was strictly just race. As far as like with baseball, it's not strictly random. Yeah, but he was wrong no matter what. Basketball was ran off narratives though, so it was just one of them bad narratives. He just said he took it back. He like I took it too far, but. He just felt like whatever he felt, but you know how basketball is, so it was just one of the things.
I agree, but what's stopping that from happening next year? Let's say it's Luka and like Jimmy Butler, and then Kendrick Perkins comes up and says it.
I don't think it really had that much of an effect, to be quite honest with you. And the reason why I don't think that it had that much of an effect is because number one, the voters know who the players are, and it doesn't matter that Joker is white. Like, for example, if you rewind the clock back to when Isaiah Thomas said if Larry Bird was black, he'd be just another player. We all knew that was nonsense, and that didn't affect Larry Bird as a player. That not only did it not affect Larry Bird as a player, it didn't affect his stance as a player. He had just won the league MVP 2 years before that for the third straight year, and we all knew that Isaiah Thomas, for lack of a better term, was on some bullshit saying that. We all knew that. So the same logic goes on with Kendrick Perkins, who, by the way, has an MVP vote, and who's the same guy. Not only does he have an MVP vote, he's the same guy when I believe it was when Joker missed, not Joker. I believe it was when Giannis missed in Denver. Giannis was supposed to play in Denver. No,
it was Embiid. It was Embiid.
Embiid. I'm sorry, it was Embiid who was supposed to play. And Kendrick Perkins said, "Point taken. I'm going to remember this." So, I mean, it goes both ways. It didn't have anything. If he says that Joker is one of the reasons why he's in the league MVP conversation because he's white. No, people understand, especially people who know basketball, who have influence on basketball. They understand a guy like Joker being the player that he is. And the idea of him not being flashy, Bird wasn't flashy. And we all knew that Bird was awesome. We didn't care about the fact that Bird wasn't jumping out the gym like Jordan and doing stuff like that. Bird was awesome.
I would agree with you, but I'm talking, obviously, if Bird played today, I think Bird would still get the love that he gets, but it's you're talking about the society that we in now, like the highlights, all that stuff, the AAU, all that. People are just used to a certain type of thing. Like, if we didn't see Zion jumping out the gym in high school and dunking on people, embarrassing cats, that wouldn't have his what am I trying to say? His hype going into the league wouldn't have been as high. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and even somebody in the chat said, like, hey, there was an MVP voter who said he's like, I never watched Jokic, so I don't know if he. Obviously, my only reason I'm saying is because the only ESPN show that I watch is the Hoop Collective with Brian Windhorst, because I think he does great work, and they were killing Kendrick when he said that, but they were also saying that I know some people who think the exact same way that he does, and that's my only thing. I think it just said, I don't know if a precedent's the right word, but there's something there, man. That just
even if it is something there, it's not enough to sway other people, because people who know basketball know for a fact that the fact that he's white does not affect how I feel about him as a ball player. It just doesn't. Exactly. As good as he is, as good as he is, I don't look at him as he's from Serbia. I look at Joker as a baller. Just like I looked at Bird as a baller. Just like I looked at Stockton as a baller.
That's what I was going to ask you, Triton. That's what I was going to ask you right there. Do you think that maybe John Stockton, if he had a little bit more melanin in him, do you think he would get a little bit more respect?
I'll tell you what, if he had a little bit more melanin in it, a little bit more brother in him, I'll tell you what would have happened. He would have got less respect because he was in Utah. The fact that he was in Utah, it actually compounded it. Okay. And the fact that he played with Malone, it compounded it. But the idea that Kendrick Perkins saying that Joker, him being white, affected his league MVP votes. I mean, we can't discount the fact that, Joker did win the league MVP not this season that just passed, last season. I think he led them in 4 to 5 major categories last season. I mean, I can't discount that. That's a big deal. If he looked like me, I'd still feel the same way about that. I wouldn't be looking at him going, Yeah, he was all right. No, I mean, I still would have felt the same way about him. So the fact that Kendrick Perkins said what he said, yeah, it might have been out of bounds, but ultimately it didn't sway me. No.
I just wish he never said it. That's just my thing. I'm like, you could have found a better way. I think Joel Embiid was better the whole year. The only problem with Joel is he won the first matchup, but then the minute he was out, I was
really
like, "Come on, bro!"
I was looking forward to that second one.
I thought Joker might have had something special for him. He said, "Oh,
they
now
put that on prime time. They put the game on prime time specifically
he
because
embarrassed him in Philly.
What did he go 48 and 17, something like that?
He was celebrating Joel, celebrating at the end of the game.
Did he even go to the game to sit on the bench? Like, did he even go to the game?
No, he wasn't even there.
Oh, come on, bro! You at least got to be.
No, he wasn't even there.
Because I think I said it before, like, you can't just get me and I can't get my get back.
Yeah, that was the main thing. I felt like that. I feel like Joel not playing that second game was more of an indictment than what Perk said. I didn't like what Perk said either. I don't know if it swayed anybody. I mean, those were some fair points, but Joel not playing in that game was the biggest red flag for me. But fellas, we do got to keep it moving. We got a lot of people want to come up. Appreciate y'all.
Davion, what you had? Davion,
I was just gonna say
Davion had something before we.
Yeah, I was gonna say
okay, for sure.
Yeah, how long do y'all think it's gonna take for Wemby to get going to the NBA? I think it'll take like 2 months. Like after 2 months of the season, he'll get into fashion of being ready for it, being more up to date, and knowing what he's doing as far as like you see how he looked yesterday. He was looking, he didn't know what role he wanted to play, where he wanted to be on the floor, how did he need to score, how he need to rebound, whatever he need to do. He played good defense yesterday. Of course, he played every game.
Right.
But as far as offensive wise and what his role is, how he needs to attack players, how they're going to guard him, different stuff like that. How long do you think it's going to take for him to adjust to the NBA?
I really don't think it's going to take long because the stuff that he was doing that in other spaces. He still was getting the same shots that he was getting over in Europe. He still was getting the same looks. He just didn't convert. And I feel like a lot of that was nerves. If you watch him getting in the lane and passing the basketball, like that's stuff that's already going to come. So when he gets into the league, that's going to be even better. I think that him working with Pop, I don't think it's going to be long before he figures it out. I will say this: he is skin and bones, though. He is. He
tacos. That's what he needs.
Man, we definitely got to take him to a burger joint and get some meat on him, yo, because he is a rail. He is. He is skin and bones. But I don't think it's going to take long, Davion. I think before we get to the All-Star break, we'll see a vast improvement from him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel too. Right when you get to right before All-Star break. Exactly.
Do you think he's even going to hit some kind of rookie wall? Because I know he played professionally overseas. Is he going to?
They
hit
all do.
like that?
They all do, Random. Okay. They all do. I mean, we talking about going from a 30, 35 game season to 82 games, and he's going to play a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's gonna play a lot. So Pop is. Don't get me wrong. I know Pop's gonna groom him and bring him along slowly, but you can't handle this dude with kid gloves all the time. Eventually, you got to put him out there, and you got to keep him out there. I mean, there's a reason why David Robinson became what he became. There's a reason why Tim Duncan became what he became. Because I got to put him out there against Malone and let Malone kick his ass so he knows exactly what he's up against. So he knows what to improve on. I got to get stronger. I got to get better at this. I got to get better at that. Instead of just I'm gonna push him along with kid gloves. That's not going to improve him, and I think Pop knows that.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry for taking the time because
appreciate y'all for letting me come on, man.
All right, appreciate y'all. Y'all
absolutely,
stay
fellas.
Y'all stay in the chat, man. Don't leave. We got a good show going.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Ox. I can appreciate that how it sounds, but one of the things about basketball that athletes know more than anything, basketball is universal. We don't care what you look like. The only question we ask, can he play? This dude from China, this dude from Yugoslavia, this dude from Iraq, this dude from Jersey, doesn't make a difference. Can he play? Yeah. And if he can play, that's where the bond comes in. Can he pass? Can he score? Can he defend? The fact that he's from China, I don't care about that. Can he play? Bring him on.
That's a fact. That's all it takes to get on the court. Couple more super chats. We got from Drip Bayless. 01 Sixers or 11 Bulls?
The 2011s. Chicago Bulls? No, Drip. I know where you're going with this. They were not better than. That's the team that lost to the Lakers. They were not. Yeah, that Bulls team. No. Derrick Rose. I see where Drip Bayless is going with this matchup. Derrick Rose against Allen Iverson. I think that would be a good matchup. With first of all, Joakim Noah was not the defender. He was not the defender then as he became. So that's out. Carlos Boozer, being the quote unquote brute that he was, he would have a really difficult time with the defensive player of the year in Mutombo. That whole Philly squad, the dirty work guys that they were, I think Philly handles them in 6 games. It's going to be an ugly game, though, Big Ox. It's going to be one of those like 85 to 80 games. It's going to be something like that. But I think Philly handles them in 6 games.
Markevian Black, can we talk about how Mars had Tari Eason over Jabari Smith?
Well, Mars thinks that Jabari Smith is Trevor Ariza, and I think he's wrong with that. I think he's better than Trevor Ariza. I think he's going to be a better offense, not just a better scorer. I think he's going to be a better offensive player overall than Trevor Ariza. I think his mid-range game is going to be better. I think the fact that he shoots the long ball, I think that's going to be better. I think he's a better defender than Trevor Ariza. I said this before. I think he's a better version of Derek McKee. That's who he reminds me of when I watch him. I think he's Derek McKee, except a better scorer and a better defender. That's who I look at. That's who I see when I see him.
From Shamar Trusty, when is FIF versus PC starting?
Unfortunately, that got canceled today, and I know that was something that you dudes was looking forward to, but yeah, I think some scheduling conflicts, something happened in the background where it just wasn't able to happen. Unfortunately, so maybe we'll do it again some other time.
Yeah. I'm sure the fellas are in the back rescheduling that right now as we speak. Y'all just hang in there. We'll get it done. And if that let's say for some strange reason that falls through, we'll definitely have something for y'all.
Yes, we will.
Guaranteed. Let me see. Okay. We got Ruger Red. Westbrook finishing top 3 point guards of all time.
Well, I'll tell you what. If we going off the numbers, Big Ox, and I had this conversation with you, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but Russell Westbrook in the next 2 years, Russell Westbrook is going to be a member of the 25,000 point, 10,000 assist club. James, the only other dude in that category. Ain't nobody else there but except him. However, Russell Westbrook being the all pro that he was, going on deep playoff runs, winning the league MVP. I think if I think about the point guards that won the league MVP, Oscar Robertson won the league MVP, Magic won the league MVP, Steve Nash won the league MVP, Jason Kidd came in second, but there weren't many. Bob Cousy won the league MVP. There weren't many point guards that won the league MVP. Steph Curry, who was considered a point guard, he won the league MVP. Weren't many point guards that won the league MVP. I don't think he's a top 3 point guard all time. No, I think that he's a top 10 point guard, but top 3, no, you have even though he did extraordinary things, the stuff that these other guys did, like Isaiah, Magic, Stockton, Oscar Robertson, the stuff that these guys did I think it was more extraordinary than what Russell did. So top 3, no, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I can't get behind that. Okay, let me see what the fellas got. We got Keem and Leaf Diggy. What's going on, y'all?
I like how he tried to dismiss me last time, bro. With that 2018, with my 2018 top guards list, man. Listen,
I ain't trying to dismiss you with that. You said Chris Paul was You said Chris Paul was a top 5 point guard in 2018. From 2016 to 2020, he did not make the all-league team. In 2018, Damian Lillard was first team all-NBA. That's in addition to the 2 years before that, he was an all-pro. And the 2 years after that, he was an all-pro. So, no, Chris Paul wasn't.
Yes, he
was.
Yes, he was. Your all-NBA team logic don't work. You always
why not?
Because you always tell us about some dude that go ham in some random year and that didn't make the all-NBA team. So it don't
like
work
who?
This time.
Like who?
You always tell us about somebody, but like somebody
like who
out of nowhere, like that had 200 blocks or something like that, man. I don't remember exactly who off the head, but listen.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up.
The thing about Chris Paul during that time, like almost everywhere he went, even in that year, they wherever he went, they was considered contenders.
No, Oklahoma City was not considered contenders.
That Houston Rockets team in 2018 took arguably the best team in league history to Game 7 with Chris Paul. Like Chris Paul,
who else was with him?
Hold on. Chris Paul impact was not on the numbers, was not on the stat sheet. He was just trying to win. That's all he was trying to do. I can at least respect that. Now Dame had a monster year that year, obviously, bro. He was first team All NBA, but he was the third seed also. And he got broomed in the first round of the playoffs.
That's correct.
Broomed out. So my thing is like, and you said Kyrie wasn't top 5. Remind you, Kyrie outplayed Steph in both finals. 16
I didn't say, ho. Okay, first of all, he did not outplay Steph Curry in the finals in 17. No, he did not. He outscored him. Okay. That's not outplaying somebody. Just because you outscored somebody does not mean you outplayed them. Just so you know, Steph Curry averaged a double-double in them finals. And he did outscore him. No question about that. But the fact that he did all of that other stuff, averaging a double-double, double-digit rebounds. What are we talking about here? The fact that he outplayed him, almost averaged a triple-double in them finals. What are you talking about? That he outplayed him because he outscored him? No, he did not.
Look, the bottom line is Kyrie was easily the best point guard in the East. Dame was never better than Steph. He was never better than James Harden. He was never better than Russ at that time. And he was and CP had arguably his last good 5 years, all the way up until last good couple years, all the way up into the Suns finals.
The best.
All the way up into the Suns finals. That's top 5 right there.
He was not top 5.
That's not true. And the reason why that logic is not true is because of what Damian Lillard had done at that time. Don't get me wrong. Russell Westbrook in 2018 was just coming off being a league MVP and averaging a triple-double again. So I don't have a problem with Russ being in there. No, I got no problem with Russ being in there. I got no problem with James Harden because James Harden won the league MVP that year. No doubt about that. I got no problem with Steph Curry, who's just coming off being an NBA champion the year before that and doing everything that he did. I got no problem with that. Steph Curry, not Steph Curry, I'm sorry.
Kyrie.
Chris Paul and Kyrie Irving, them two dudes can fight. Damian Lillard, on the other hand, who at that point in 2018, who had just came off taking that Portland Trail Blazers team to the playoffs for like the last, I believe it was for the last 4 straight years, he was taking his team to the playoffs, losing to the eventual champion Golden State Warriors, 2018, when they got served in the first round against that New Orleans team, which was really good, by the way. Which was really good. Nobody considered the Oklahoma City team a contender. He did get on that crew and made them a playoff team. That part I won't fight. He did get on that crew and make them a playoff team. But Damian Lillard also did the same thing with his crew. There's a reason why they were the number 3 seed. I think Damian Lillard in 18. I think he went 30-8 that year, or 28 and 28.
I think it was like
it was 27 and 27.
Yeah, 27 and 7. Yeah. And I think it was the next year he went 30-8.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about a top 5 guard, 100% James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, all of those guys are there. I think Damian Lillard was a top 5 guard at that time.
100%.
I can't.
And you can't give me legit logic. There's no legit logic you can give me that an All-Pro for 5 straight years where a guy misses the All-Pro team. We don't do that in no other sport. We don't even do that in this sport where a guy is not an All-Pro for 4 straight years, but he's still a top 5 player at his position in front of somebody who's doing that. We don't do that nowhere else.
Yeah. I think the All-Pro team is miscued because this year. It has to be because this year we just saw two dudes on first all NBA team that didn't even make the playoffs.
That's a fact. Here's the difference. Here's the difference with that, Leaf. The difference with that is that's an anomaly. Just like Joker winning the league MVP as the number 6 seed, just like Russell Westbrook winning the league MVP as the number 6 seed. We don't see that all the time. We see that once in a while. I can tell you what we're not going to see. We're not going to see dudes making first team All NBA and their teams not making the playoffs again. Because just like I told you before, that's an anomaly. So a guy like SGA making an All-Pro team, and a guy like Luka making an All-Pro team, with the exception, not just All-Pro, first team All-NBA, with the exception of Anthony Davis in I believe it was 2014 to 2015. I believe it was 2014 to 2015, with the exception of Anthony Davis, the last guy to be a first team All-Pro, and his team didn't make the playoffs was the decade that I was born. That was Pistol Pete. And Marcus Johnson.
That was the last guard that did it.
Especially guards.
Yeah.
Especially guards. If you're a guard and you're a first team All-Pro, your team is in the playoffs. That was an anomaly what we saw this season. That's not going to be going on the regular. It is not. Add that to the fact that it's more positionless now, so we might see less guards making the All-Pro team.
Man, yeah, listen, man, yo, go get that job at ESPN, man. They hiring, man. Like
they're not hiring.
Actually, they're not hiring. They firing
off everybody.
Yeah, they firing so they can make room for you. They trying to give you some easy chicken, bro. Go ahead, go get that.
Yo, Keem, what's up, Keem? What you got?
Yo,
for us?
I'm down here in Texas, and I was watching the summer league games last night.
Great state of Texas, baby.
Yeah, bro. Amen Thompson, he looking nice.
Yes.
He looking nice.
Thompson looking good?
Who was his floor is John Wall, right? I'm ready, bro.
That's wild.
Wait.
That was wild. That's not coming from us, Lee. That was somebody else who said that. That's not coming.
Keem, repeat that again.
That wasn't coming from Keem. That was not coming from Keem. That was somebody else who said that.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like his floor might really be John Wall? Or
nah, not at all. I feel like his floor is like Alonzo Ball. Like he has like those defensive mannerisms, and he can pass the ball really nicely. The thing that really impressed me is like his first step is so quick. He finished it on the right side with his left hand. Like he looked ready out there. It was nice to see.
And he's bigger than what I thought he was too.
Oh yeah, he is tall.
He a bit of 6'6". A bit of it.
He got some height on him for real.
The thing is, what I don't like is the people that we have in Houston. Like, it sucks that he's gonna be like behind Dylan Brooks. Like, bro, come on.
No, he's playing the lead guard. He's playing the lead guard.
But
he's gonna play the lead guard.
Who's like we got Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, then Amen Thompson. This
is what I want. This is what I want you to understand, Okeem. I want you to understand the fact that this guy. We don't need to throw him out there just yet. That's why you got VanVleet.
Yeah.
Which is what I was originally liking with Dame staying in Portland. So Scoot can get a year to play behind him. I used the football analogy. As good as Pat Mahomes is, he did play behind Alex Smith for a season, which he needed. Right. So with that being said, a guy like Amen, he could stand to play behind and learn the pro game as opposed to just throwing him out there. Yeah. And when you throw him out there, you might screw him up. So he can learn from a vet like Fred VanVleet. And as time goes on, because remember, I mean, and I think a lot of people forget too. You know, Penny Hardaway did play behind Scott Skiles. He didn't just come right on the floor. He did.
You didn't just say Alex Smith.
Yeah, he did. Did he not play behind Alex Smith?
Yeah, he did. But I'm saying,
did he need to play behind Alex Smith? Yes. Hell yeah. You're looking at Alex Smith as the player. I'm looking at Alex Smith as the pro, as the vet.
We don't disrespect Alex Smith on this.
No, we do not. We do not.
All right, listen. Like Alex Smith, come on now. I think we all like remember his career up until that playoff win in San Francisco.
Leaf, you're looking at Alex Smith as the player. I'm thinking about a pro. That's what I'm thinking about. You don't got to play behind a dude that's awesome. Too, but I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the vet, somebody that you can learn from. And that's what's going to happen right here with Amen Thomas playing behind VanVleet. VanVleet's not an all-pro guard, but VanVleet can teach him some things. That contract is 3 years,
that's true.
But it's the third year is a team option. So it's really a 2-year deal.
Yeah,
so it's a 2+1.
It's really a 2-year deal. So the fact that we talking about a 19-year-old kid in Amen Thomas. We so used to everybody just being nice right now. Yo, would you take Amen Thomas being nice right now for 3 years as opposed to him sitting behind Fred VanVleet and learning for a year, 2 years, and being nice for 7 or 8 years, and y'all making deep playoff runs? I'll take the latter more than the former.
Keem, y'all got to play the long game. Keem,
I would just like to say, as far as Houston, bro. Sengun, I think, is the key to their success in the future, bro.
Yeah.
I think that he's the biggest key to their success.
His defense is just not there.
I
hey,
think
chill,
that's where everybody, the athletes around them, is going to pick that up. I think that y'all kind of building a mini, like a baby Nuggets team over there with the formula that they got going. Just put a bunch of athletes around like a pretty good, fundamentally sound all European guy. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to work. He the best facilitator on that team to me. Who better than him as a facilitator?
I don't know.
Thompson?
Maybe yeah.
I'm
in now.
Amin Thompson is already better than Sengun.
I mean, he
We'll
could.
see.
That's not crazy. He could be. He could
You
be.
got that
We'll see.
vision.
But chill,
get
I
that
want
ESPN
to go
job.
back. I want to get back down to what Leaf was laughing at real quick, because I just want to point this out. If you ask me, Alex Smith was. I mean, I know he played quarterback, so y'all don't laugh at me. But Alex Smith was the perfect point guard. You remember? You remember? What's Robbie Gold?
Robbie Gold, yeah, I remember
how
Robbie
that it was. He was damn near leading the league in points, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Because Alex Smith was getting him in position to kick that ball through the uprights. We do not disrespect Alex Smith on this.
I'm not disrespecting Alex Smith. It's just when you said it, and then we look at where Patrick Mahomes is and how he took off on that quarterback position. My thing is like, okay, Alex Smith was there. And that I think one of the worst things I seen on Alex Smith was that leg injury. Oh my goodness, that was horrible. But I think Alex Smith was one of those guys that was like there. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, yo, let's see where we could go with this or whatever. I like kind of thing. I don't necessarily think it was more of what Chill was talking about in terms of like a guy that you could learn from with Patrick Mahomes. Because when Patrick Mahomes came in, it was just like, oh, word, I got to. Oh, let's do it. Boom. Touchdown. We going to the AFC Championship game, the Super Bowl. That's what you got. The second that he came into that position, right. You know what I'm saying? So like it was like, yo, let's take off, let's shoot right to the moon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you that's probably one of the quickest sit behind a veteran quarterbacks to superstardom that we probably ever seen, if that's the case. But I don't really use that as the case that Chilltown was talking about. I just use it like I just like it seemed like all right, yo, this dude was just waiting in the wings the whole time, and it was just like, all right, yo, let's do it.
Right.
We ready.
Well, fellas.
Well, hold on. There's one more thing, because I watched the Victor game after that, and he was looking a little lost out there on offense. Like
defensively, he was there. He did get cramped on one time, but I'm concerned. He landed. Did he fall like 5 times yesterday in that game?
Okay, so
look like a deer that just got born, like a horse that just got born,
like that don't got his legs quite under him. I'm like, yo, and I told you something, Chilltown. I said, yo, didn't I tell you, Bobby? I said his body is very, very breakable. Very, like I said that, man. I'm like,
well,
yo,
that was just game 1. He ain't broke yet, so let's hold out there. He'll get stronger, y'all. He'll get stronger.
Let me ask y'all a quick question. Between him and Chet, bro, who you think gonna last longer?
I can't call it. I don't know.
You gotta.
That's only time will tell that.
Chill, who you think? Between him and Chet, who gonna last?
If I had to guess right now, Wemby, because Chet has already shown me he's got a history of injury. So,
you know
what you was about to say, Keem?
I hated that Victor was on the perimeter way too much. He posted up like twice, and then one of them he just lost his balance and fell down. I was like, what's going on? Like, get this man some more post touches. I want to see what he can do out there. I saw him do all the dribbling, then he got like caught in traffic, got ripped, and then like I just need to see some more post moves, some others, like see what he can do out there. He just looked like there was no.
I think his post moves is more on the mid range than more like a little bit further out instead of like closer to the low block.
Keem, you got to remember where he's coming from, though. He's coming from an offense where he was ball dominant, where he had the basketball a lot on the perimeter. He didn't play on the box nearly as much, and he did play without the ball. And he would shoot the gap and dive to the box and get layups. But in terms of them going to him like they would do Jabari, we're so wrapped up in the big man getting on the block. Unfortunately, those days are over. I would like to see that come back. And I think that Pop's going to implement him on the box some more. No doubt about that. He's not going to be on a wing throwing the ball between his legs 2-3 times. That's not going to happen. He is going to showcase that, but that's not going to be going on a regular. No.
Yeah. He did cross over. I forget who it was, but like I was like, okay, his handle looking nice, better than Jaylen Brown already. I was like, that's good to see.
All right. Well, on that note, y'all can get the hell out.
Goodbye. See y'all later.
Somebody always got to mess up the fun, man. Yeah. Okay, let me grab this other super chat before we get to the next group of fellas. From Austin Taylor Beats. Is it just me, or does Wemby feel more like small forward, power forward than the center? I feel like he's ceiling this KD with better defense rather than Olajuwon with the 3-ball.
Well, KD is his guy. That's who he tailored his game after. Actually, KD is his guy. I do think that he would play the consummate the center position. What it used to be, it's not that anymore. He is going to rim protect, but again, in addition to him rim protecting and rebounding, he's still going to do that other stuff, like what Jokic does, like what Embiid does. He's not going to play on the block. He might handle the basketball a little bit more on the perimeter. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to be rim protecting like Joel Embiid or like Rudy Gobert, because I still think he's going to do that. We saw that yesterday. Big Ox, he looked like he didn't really know what he was doing, and he still managed to get 5 blocks.
Yeah.
So wait till I figure this out. All right? Wait till I figure this out. You dudes in trouble. You dudes in a lot of trouble.
Definitely. And not only when he figures it out, but kind of like we're talking about, when he gains 15, 20 pounds over these next 3 seasons, that's going to be trouble. He's going to be hard to move. It's going to be hard to move. He put some weight down in his, his hindquarters, his legs, his midsection, he'll fill out, and then it's going to be some scary times for people.
Because he just looked like skin and bones, Big Ox. Right. To be honest with you, I'm looking at him going, yo, we got to get my man to a burger joint. We do. We gotta get him to a steakhouse.
In San Antonio, they got some good steaks there.
Yeah, we gotta get the big fella to a steakhouse. Yes, we do, because we gotta put some meat on him. He little, 100% he is. So
we got Mr. Mass, we got A Sturdy. What's going on, fellas?
Salute everybody.
What I got for us this morning?
We can talk about Wemby. I think y'all hit it on the head, especially with the last guest. I think his ability to already recognize good positioning already is telling, because Chill, you already know, like, the most easiest thing to transfer in the pros is defense, is that understanding position, is utilizing your advantages, like your length, like your athleticism. We saw glimpses of that in that early that game. Obviously, he's a little light, but when you think about guys that his size, it's not uncommon for guys to be that skinny. Like Ralph Sampson, when he first came in the league, even though he was experienced in college, he didn't. Yep, he was not. He didn't fill out until the next year. Same thing with Chris Paul. Same thing with Sean Bradley. It just takes time, especially the longer your limbs are. It just takes more time for you to get more muscle, and that's fine. That's why he's in the perfect organization. That's going to pace him. That's going to put him in positions to score within their offense, and most importantly, they're one of the best team franchise NBA history with regards to defending without fouling, defending without leaving your position out. And that's the only thing, this is a huge nitpick. That's the only thing I think he did wrong defensively. Like, he forgot how much taller he is. I thought he bit on a little bit too much shots. I thought he left his feet a little bit too much. And as you saw, every time he left his feet, he tried to catch himself with one leg. So over time, that's something work with his trainers, though. He can not only understand position, but also understand you don't have to jump on every shot. Right. And I just think that's nerves and also a huge adjustment to the game. The NBA is the fastest league, most talented league you're going to play in the world. So people, and especially today's siding, we can't be too microwave with, especially with these players. Let them learn, let them get used to it, and let them adjust.
19 years old, man. 19 years old, man. He's a fucking kid. This dude don't even know. You saw him yesterday. He looked like a dude that you just dropped in math class. You ain't even give him no books. You just gave him a notebook. And he might not have been great on the test, but he still did some stuff where you saw him was like, he gonna be fine. Don't worry about him. He'll be fine.
And we just saw with Brandon Miller. We just saw like his first game look like deer to headlights. We saw the second game. He's a little less nervous. He understand, okay, I can do this, I can do that, and now I can work with that. So we just gotta just relax, let these guys develop and turn themselves who they are before we can tweak them like to that certain degree.
Well, let me get here, man. And first and foremost, man, salute to my guy Chill and Big Ox, man, and H30 fellas. I'm gonna come from a little bit different angle with Wemby, but I want to talk about Jabari Smith of my Rockets. But
before you go any further with Jabari Smith, I want to make sure we clear, Mr. Mass.
Yeah,
he was my guy coming into the draft. When I saw them take Bonchero, I threw my hands in the air because I was you got him, you got your guy. So I just want to make sure we clear.
I got you, man. I got you, and we'll get to that. Chill. With Wemby, I'll be fast, man. You feel me? And again, what I'm about to say, is going to be controversy, fellas. I thought last night the NBA commentators and ESPN totally embarrassed themselves, bro, right? They started praising this kid Wemby for things that had nothing to do with basketball. Oh, he went to dinner with Tim and David. He listens well. They saw a kid out there struggling, right, and was scared to acknowledge his failures and started to praise other attributes that's nothing to do with basketball. To me, okay.
That's show business.
What you say about
that's show business?
That's just show business. I got you. Go ahead.
So after last night, man, I had to actually take a step back and reassess him because at first I was mad at him, but it's not his fault. He just playing basketball. This is on the corporate media, and I just feel like we gotta take a step back and put guys in their proper place. You can't be mad at me for pointing out what he does wrong when before the game every camera view was on him. They showed his offensive highlights, Chill, shooting sidestep threes, fadeaways. Well, guess what? You are broadcasting and toasting this man as as if he's the next Kevin Durant, right?
Right.
Bro, listen, bro. He has slow feet. He's flat-footed. I think defensively he's going to be just fine, right? And like you said, Chill, he got 5 blocks doing some bad things on defense, right? Just standing there.
He know what he was doing.
And so I think he's going to be dominant defensively in the paint. Keyword, in the paint. I thought on the perimeter and that high pick and roll with some of these veteran guards who can kind of get you going, it's going to be hell to pay, right? You agree with that? I think
I do.
About that
I do.
And then secondly, you made a great point about the traditional big men. Those days are long and gone, right? I mean, the Jokers and Beads, they're the exception. But here's where Greg Popovich is going to be a genius at. Don't post them up traditionally, right? You flash them to that paint where you catch and shoot, rise, elevate, and shoot over guys, right? His shots should become the way Porzingis shots come. You catch down low in the paint, and then you elevate and you shoot over guys. You're going to get fouls, but get your ass closer to the basket. He has no business bringing the ball up court. He has no business trying to facilitate and initiate offense at the top of the key. We saw on 3 or 4 occasions where he tried to do some spin, blah, 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 ripped. He tried to do the little slow, fake Hakeem dream shake, almost blew his knee out. You know what I'm saying? And so, listen, for me, I think it's disrespectful. I think it's disingenuous to even mention guys like Kevin Durant with this kid, right? Because KD's feet are faster. They're more educated. They're quicker. And at 7'4", 7'3", he ain't got the foot speed to beat Kevin Durant offensively. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it.
I will say this because you just brought up an interesting point about him, like he shouldn't be handling the basketball. Well, I did see him in traffic, and I did see him making great passes. Now, the idea of him throwing the ball between his legs 3 and 4 times, I don't think we're gonna see that. But his ability to play make and get guys off of guys and make passes and get to the rim, that is there. And they are going to implement that in that offense for him because that is going to help. Now, what we're not going to do is we're not going to make that the focal point of our offense. No, we can't do that because if we do that, then we're taking away a big part of him, which is his height. So if we take him further away from the basket and we got him handling the basketball 17, 18 feet away from the basket on the regular, as opposed to getting him in position where he could score and be more efficient and open up the offense for us, that's doing us a disservice. So I think that they are going to do that for him. But I will tell you this: you have to be able to criticize a guy and him be able to accept it. That's how dudes got better. Because if you keep telling the guy, Mr. Moss, you great. Listen, man, I said this a long time ago, Big Ox. Them people on what's the name of that show? With Simon. Oh, what the hell is the name of that? American Idol. They have no friends. The reason why they got no friends is because when they get on that show and Simon tells them you suck, they're crushed. Yo, don't send me on TV if I suck, yo. Don't do that to me. Don't send me out there if I'm trash. Tell me how I really am. If I suck, tell me I suck. Tell me what I need to get better at. If you're sitting here and telling this dude constantly, you're great, you just need to work. No, he needs to hear that constructive criticism so he can get better.
And Showtown, that's why Greg Popovich is so key with him signing that 3-year extension. Pop has a way of communicating with young guys
on his life. He did.
Yeah. To where it's constructive criticism, and I think Wemby's going to respect Pop, to the fullest. Here's my last point, and then y'all can do whatever. Don't forget, you guys, he averaged 21 points, and he shot 47% from the field over in that other league. So it's not like it's not like he's an efficient player, right? So him shooting threes, him like I don't like that, right? I don't like that. And so I mean, the way he was put in my face was he was this offensively dominated player. But when I went back and watched highlight film and tapes, and really dissected his game and really broke it down, chill, I gotta be honest with myself, okay? I wasn't impressed. So, I mean, people call me a hater because I'm critiquing to the high standard, but you can't get mad at me because that's what you sold me on. I mean, if you sell me a brand new Mercedes-Benz, then I expect to get a Mercedes-Benz. I don't want no Honda Accord, right?
Right.
So I'm saying sell to a high standard, and guess what? He's going to be held to me. I'm going to critique him as a player of a high standard. That's
fair. That's fair.
And I think that's the difference in separating.
Don't sell me Jordan and this dude is I don't know. He's right. John Starks. Don't sell me that.
No, but I think that's more accountability for the media than opposed to the player himself. Victor didn't tell nobody that I'm the greatest prospect ever. That's the media. No, so it's once again that's why I'm saying we got to judge these players on who they are. If you it's just like making a cake. If you're gonna you got the ingredients, you got the batter, you got the flour, you got the egg, you put it in the oven. It's not gonna be a full blown cake within 20 minutes. No, you got to let it bake. You got to let it come together. You got to get your icing. So it's like we got to let these guys grow. That man is 19 years old, and I don't know if y'all noticed this. This is the first time in NBA history where the top 5 guys, 4 out of the top 5 guys that got picked in the top 5 did not go to college. 4. So it just introduced you to not only the different avenues getting in the league, but also different learning curves that we might see get into the league. So we got to take that into account as well. But like I said, there's certain things that you can't teach, and this guy got it, and also things that he admitted to himself that he's gonna work on. And you like to hear that from Scoot, like to hear that from Brandon Miller, and you like to hear that from all the rookies. We rarely, and Chill know this, throughout NBA history, we rarely seen guys come into the league top 10 players. So why would you hold these guys to that standard when it's a complete rarity in itself?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hold on. Extra. What you mean? Like he got some things you can't teach? Like what? I see.
No, for
you say you can't.
You can't teach 7'5", run fast, and jump high. You can't teach that.
I mean, that's a go without saying. I mean, yeah, that of course. But other than that, though, I mean, I didn't see anything that I'm like, ooh, I saw none of that.
No, and that's fine. You're not going to probably get none of that. It's the first time summer league game. But I'm saying is there's a lot of athletic, there's a lot of advantage that he has that no other player has, and most importantly, the Spurs are the perfect organization because we all know Tim Duncan in terms of positioning. Tim Duncan was not an open pass. He waited for you to commit and then block his shot. So that's why, like I said earlier before, that's just a habit where he's going to work on. I don't think over time he's going to I don't think he's going to be as a bunny that we saw last game. I don't think we see him get out of position. I haven't seen as much last game through the course of time. Not with that franchise. Not with the mentors he got in the locker room.
Yeah. The upside is there, and everything. Now I can appreciate Mr. Moss that you're not impressed with him, but the people that he got working with him, there's no reason why he shouldn't be great. There's no reason why. I mean, to have Tim Duncan, to have Greg Popovich, to have David Robinson.
If I told you that there's no way in hell that he can have it both ways, he's not going to be dominant defensively and dominant offensively. He has to gear more towards the defensive side of the ball, which is going to take away from his offense. Is that fair? Listen, he cannot be dominant.
How would it take away from his offense if he's going to be dominant on the defensive side of the ball? How would that take away from his offense?
No. I'm saying it should. I'm just saying his focal point. I think Greg.
Even if it did, right? Let's just say for the sake of argument that you want him to be more of a defensive force.
Yes.
How would that take away from his offense? I mean, because Olajuwon was a defensive force, but he was bucked.
He's not Olajuwon.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is neither. Again, no, I don't think he is neither. But I don't think that would hamper his offense if he was a defensive force neither.
Because listen, just real quick, I think his feet are going to be a major issue, bro. He does not have good balance. He doesn't have good feet. And inside this league, in the NBA, in the USA, you need good feet. He ain't got them to me yet. Sorry, I just don't see the feet, bro.
Mr. Mass, is it possible that Victor Wembanyama will be back in Europe in 5 years?
Very possible.
Is it possible?
Very possible. Very possible.
I said a while ago that it might not be crazy for whoever gets that number 1 pick, because this was before the Spurs got it. I said it might not be crazy for whoever gets that number 1 pick to just go ahead and pass up on the big fella. Obviously, guys that are a little more brighter than me, like Fluent, Chilltown, they were like, Bob, if they do that, you lose your job instantly. And I respect that.
Big Ox, bro. I've been fooled too many times, fellas, in this draft, and I refuse to get fooled again by these prospects, right? And real quick, Brandon Miller, he's a shot jacker. He's very aggressive, but I want to see Brandon be more of a playmaker off his offense. I thought he was trigger happy last night. He shot everything. Take that offense, pump fake, get inside the middle of the key, and start to facilitate. But I think Brandon's gonna be just fine with his jump shot. But look to pass Brandon because he had tunnel vision. That's it on him.
Okay.
I got a question for the panel and a question for Chill that we got.
Okay. Let's go.
If y'all give me y'all all-time starting five for the most underrated players in NBA history, who would it be? Most underrated point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. If y'all want, I can start it off to get y'all thinking.
No, I could go.
Yeah, I got.
All right, go ahead.
Like who
I would go. Rajon at the 1. Probably. Well, Karan could play the 3. Karan could play the 2 or the 3. Then I'll probably go. And I know this guy gets love, but not as much love as I think he should get. I would have to go Rasheed Wallace. So let me go. Let me just go like this. I'll go Rajon, Eddie Jones, Karan Butler, Rasheed Wallace, and
love Eddie Jones.
Damn, at the center, I'm not really sure. I probably. Damn, that's where I'm stuck. I'm kind of stuck at the 5. I'll probably. Yeah, damn, I don't know. I don't know who to put at the 5. I'll probably just go out of love. I'll just throw Vlade at the 5. I don't know.
I got a crazy list, Chill. My point guard, Mark Jackson. I think he didn't get the love.
Action Jackson at the 1. Love that.
My 2 guard. Damn it, I just had it. My 3 would be Dominique. I think he gets undersold a lot. My 4 would be either I'm gonna go with Rasheed as well. My 5, I'm a Rockets fan, so I think this guy just doesn't get hate or doesn't get love. Is Yao Ming. But my 2 guard, The Rock here in Sac, Bob, Mitch Richmond.
Mitch Richmond.
Yeah, Mitch.
I'm cool on Mitch Richmond, no doubt.
I'm that kid, man. I'm that guy.
No doubt.
Solid.
Yeah, underrated point guards. Like who won't we talk about that we need to talk about more than we do? So. Like we don't talk about Calvin Murphy nearly as much as we should, yo. Calvin Murphy was super nice in terms of the point guard. At the 2 guard, Eddie Jones. I'm a huge Eddie Jones fan. Like we don't talk about Eddie Jones nearly as much as we should. At the 3, Neek. At the 3 is Neek. At the 4, I'm a big AC Green fan. And y'all dudes know how I feel about dirty work guys. AC Green is a guy that I loved. And at the 5, that was tough for me, but like we don't talk about Robert Parrish nearly as much as we should. Robert Parrish was awesome at the 5, and we don't talk about him nearly as much as we should.
At the 5 for me, real quick, I'm gonna replace Vlade. Let me get PJ Brown at the 5.
PJ,
PJ,
hard nose, dude.
I'm going at the 1. I'm going with Mark Price. I think when you go back and watch film on Mark Price, he was splitting double teams with 3-level score, and one of the first guys that was, you can say, is elite shooter and elite playmaker. So Mark Price at the point. Shooting guard, my OGs put me onto him, and I've been doing current research on him. And this dude's a bad boy, Chill. Earl the Poor Monroe. Played on the Bullets, played on the Knicks.
The Knicks put the clamps on him, though. The Knicks put the clamps on him. Like they ain't turn him loose like he was when he was with the Bullets. They did.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fact. But also, Chill, I found an article where he did an interview saying he did that willingly. He wanted to play within the Knicks offense more. He didn't want it to take away from Willis Reed or Walt Britton.
Yeah, he changed his game.
So Earl Pearl Monroe at the 3, Alex English. He gets disrespected even for his day. Missing the top 50, missing the top 75. How you the all-time? How you led the 80s decade in points and still not make out of those teams? That's crazy.
Disrespect.
Top second best Nuggets player of all time. People don't. If you don't know, do your research. Right. Number 4, one of Earl's teammates, Elvin Hayes. I think he don't get enough credit. We're talking about a guy, one of the greatest rebounders of all time, underrated scorers of all time, and in my opinion, too, that MVP should have went to him because he was the best player on that team with Wes Unseld. I
think he averaged 21 and 10 in them, 21 and 11 in them finals. There's no way he shouldn't have won that MVP. He should have won the Finals MVP that year. No doubt.
Yep. And last, I didn't think this guy would fade out, but people just started to treat this guy like he just get dunked on and like nothing else. I'm going with Zoe. Like people forget Zoe. Zoe is a two-way guy.
He might be right outside he might be fringe top 10. And if he is, he's like right outside the top 10. Like
he's like right 11. There, too, yeah.
He's like he's right there, no doubt about that. And I'm taking Calvin Murphy off because it just came to me. I'm taking Calvin Murphy off my list, and I'm putting Tiny Archibald on my list.
If you guys mentioned Mark Price, man, then I'm gonna go with Kevin Johnson, Big Ox, bro. I got a chance to pick his brain in SAC a few years ago, man. He's open book. We talked about that. We talked about that 93 finals, and I think Kevin Johnson gets slighted a lot. He can score and he can facilitate.
He used to give Stockton hell. He used to give Stockton hell
when we dunked on Elijah on baseline.
That's that sack high dragon right there. Kevin Johnson.
Broadway, give Stockton hell.
Hell yeah. Shout out 34th and Broadway, sack high. That's the dungeon there.
Last thing, chill. I'm gonna get straight to the point, chill. I want to debate. I seen what you did on PC. I seen what you did on FYF. I like to challenge. I'm there to be great. I like to challenge you to debate, sir.
Okay.
I'm
a firm believer in the words of Muhammad Ali. If you the man and you got the belt,
beat the man.
Anybody that wants smoke with you, you got to get it to him. If you the man. That's just the way it works.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on today because I know our PC versus FYF it got pushed back. But I had told him I needed another debate over there. We were supposed to I was supposed to be with either Sturdy or Africa today.
It's supposed to be Africa.
It's supposed to be Africa.
Yeah,
Africa's a great debater, fellas.
I'm gonna ask Lamont, but like chill, like definitely if you need me, I'll drop Lamont's in my email and the thing so we can get more coordination, and then we're gonna definitely knock that out.
Let's do it.
But
can I give Chilltown just a quick because I'm gonna go, but can I just tell Chilltown one thing quick about Jabari Smith, and then I'm out of here.
Yep.
You were high on him last year.
I love him. I love that kid
too, right? They saw me on the perimeter jump shot and defensively. I thought he came on a little bit stronger in the second half last year. I was in Houston for my birthday. I saw him versus Toronto. Good player. I still thought he was at times a little jittery at times. I thought the moment was too big during some games. But what we saw last night, here's the question for me. I thought last night he was clear cut, the best player on the Rockets. He was the leader. They looked him to score. I get all that. The question is, do we get that version of Jabari with Jalen, Kevin, Fred, right? And I don't mean 30 points a game, but what about a consistent 18-7, a 19-9, him being aggressive? There were times last year where I thought he deferred to the two studs too much for me, right? So if you're Jabari, bro, trust your skill set, trust your training, and go get it. But I think that he's mentally, I think Kevin and Jalen have strong personalities, and at times last year they took away from him.
Right.
And then he kind of just stepped back in the sunset and kind of said, okay, I'll get mine how it comes. I don't like that, right? Listen.
Now remember, Mr. Moss, we talking about a kid last year on a really undisciplined unit, right? So I remember when Ty Lue got the job with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he went to Kevin Love and told Kevin Love, tell James you want the basketball. You're one of the best players in the league. You could tell him that, and he'll give you the basketball. He's got a coach in Ime Udoka who's going to teach discipline. He's going to implement that in these guys, and he's going to give him a level of confidence to make him believe that he can take that next step. That's why I love this hire from Ime. So a guy like Fred VanVleet, so a guy like Jalen Green, these guys are going to get more discipline, and a guy like Jabari Smith, who has the potential to be elite on both sides of the basketball.
Agree.
I think that implementing Ime, I think that's going to make him so much better. I know where you're at, what you worrying about him not really being as aggressive. That's because, again, I was new, and number two, I was on an undisciplined unit. I was new. So now he's going to get that vote of confidence from Ime, who's going to push him, but in a positive direction. He's not going to screw him up. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this.
And then last point before I go, just real quick. Somebody mentioned Sagoon being the focal point of the offense, and he can facilitate it and be that guy. Well, there's going to be a lot of times where at the end of the games in the fourth quarter, Ime is going to have Jabari at the 5, right? And so we know that his body style isn't your prototypical center because he's not a big dude. He's tall, lanky, but he's not big. And so I do think I feel a lot more better about Jabari playing the 5 than Sagoon in wing time because he's more agile. He's more he can move lateral north, south, east, west, and he's more perimeter oriented if need be to open up the floor for the guards and stuff. So I want to see Jabari work on his inside game and outside game. But what we saw last night, bro, like I need that mentality coming game in and game out. If you don't see it, then I need Ime to challenge him.
That's why he's working with these guys. That's why Big Ox. I keep telling you, man, playing in the summer league is a big deal because when you're playing in your system, when you're playing in your system, now you know what they expect from you, and they see it, and now that's going to transfer over to when the season starts. This ain't just pickup.
Most importantly, Chill, you get as a player and a coach, that's where your communication starts. Right in the summertime. Like I need to understand, okay, what is Ime gonna say to me? How is he gonna say it? What tone am I expecting to say, and then how am I gonna deliver that? And that's another adjustment that don't get talked about a lot. But get them likes up, y'all. Like, subscribe. If y'all watching, y'all new. Big Ox, it's at 2 p.m. Eastern today. All right.
Lamont just messaged me.
All right, fellas.
Mr. Moss, you're gonna see about Wemby. You're gonna see about Wemby. You're gonna see it. I know you don't see it right now, but you're gonna see it.
I'm not gonna see nothing about no Wemby, bro. I'm not
I guess we know where Matt stands. He's off for Wemby. Let me see. We'll get to a couple more super chats, and then we'll get back to the guys. I seen we had Tyson and Pope in the back. I see that. I guess they had something to do today. So you know what I'm saying. Y'all get back in here when y'all can. I see you, Adrian. I'll get you up here, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm liking these young talent. I'm liking this young talent in the league, man. I like what I'm seeing from these dudes. I do.
Yeah, definitely. Sully Thovin says Golden State had 4 more wins and was the 6th seed compared to OKC that was the 10th seed. SGA deserved first team leading that young team.
No, he didn't. Because you just said Golden State had 4 more wins. So they could have had 1 more win. They still won more. And they made the playoffs.
Participation trophies, we got to.
They made the playoffs. So I'm not buying that logic. No, I'm not.
Shout out Supreme Chef Kobe. Appreciate the love,
you, brother.
Bro.
Appreciate you.
We got E-Word, new member. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming through.
Welcome to the party, brother.
Q English. Love the love. Alex English been getting.
Yeah, Alex doesn't.
Love it. Okay,
Alex don't get as much credit as he did, considering what he had done in the 80s. And I mean, he did take that team to the West Finals in 85. He did. He took that team to the West Finals in 85. Not one of the best scorer. Overall, the best scorer. Scored the most points in the entire decade from 1980 to 1989. Scored the most points in that decade. Nobody did that like Alex English. Made the All-Star team as many times as he did. And we talking about a forward heavy 80s with Neek, with Bernard King, with Larry Bird, right? We talking about Mark Aguirre. We talking about great forwards. And Alex English was absolutely in that conversation with those guys. Yes, he was.
Definitely. FIFA boy says, I believe deep down Chill is a Dallas Cowboys fan.
No, you don't. There's no way you believe that. No way. There's nothing that I've ever said to suggest to you that I'm a Cowboy fan. I bleed 49er red. Nothing about me is Dallas Cowboys. Nothing. I can watch some stuff from the Dallas Cowboys and be a fan of that because I dug Emmitt Smith. I ain't gonna lie about that. I dug Emmitt Smith. Let's see. When they ended up drafting Zeke, I thought that was a good pick for them. I didn't expect him to fall off the way he did, but make no mistake about it. I bleed 49er red. There's nothing about me that suggests that I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I might like what you did, but I'm not down with the Cowboys. Let's kill that right now. Let's kill it.
I see what you did there, FIFA boy. Way to get the energy up, FIFA boy. I see that. Where FIFA boy? Where your man at? Where Huncho at? I see y'all not in the chat going at it today.
I do notice that y'all two ain't at each other's throats.
From Sports PSP, favorite Mike Tyson moment.
My favorite Mike Tyson moment. him fighting Razor Ruddock. Like I see him drop a lot of guys, but him fighting Razor Ruddock, because everybody thought Razor Ruddock was just a good fighter. And when Mike Tyson said that Razor Ruddock hit, right? Mike Tyson said, quote, Razor Ruddock hits like a mule kick. And that was one of my favorite moments. He ended up breaking Razor Ruddock's jaw in that fight. So that was a great fight. That was probably my favorite Mike Tyson moment. That fight.
From Don Drickton. Scoot is NBA ready day one and has a solid mid-range that I didn't see. Jabari Smith can be a better Josh Smith. Max Christie is ready.
If he could be a better Josh Smith, I'm feeling that. I mean, Josh Smith, I think he finished second in Defensive Player of the Year one year. He was a borderline all-star at some point. I have no problem with that because Josh Smith was good. And if he could be a better version of that, yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm definitely feeling that. Definitely feeling that.
Who ranks higher all time, Dame or Nate Archibald?
Tiny Archibald led the league in scoring and assists in the same year, won the NBA championship as a guard. Won the NBA championship as a lead guard. Was able to get it done when it mattered the most. Tiny Archibald, one of the better facilitators. Not just one of the better facilitators, one of the better scorers of all time. Great college player too. Went out to UTEP. I think that Tiny Archibald is higher than Damian Lillard. Yeah. That doesn't mean that Damian Lillard wasn't awesome. Me and Ox have had this conversation. Ox ain't really feeling Damian Lillard as a top 75 player. I am. I'm cool with Damian Lillard being a top 75 player all time. I'm not feeling getting him off the list. I think he's a top 75 player all time. But I don't think he's ahead of a Tiny Archibald on the point guard list. No.
Yeah. Okay, let's get a couple of fellas in here. Let's get we got Avion. Right.
Yo.
What's going on, y'all?
What up?
Hey man, I wanna say this, man, for the what was the guy named Mace?
It's the man.
Dude need to relax, man. It's one game. We seen great players that struggling in summer league. I remember Tim Duncan got smacked around by Jermaine O'Neal. People was called Tim Duncan a bum. We need to sit back, relax, and watch this kid develop. That's what summer league is for. I saw some things from kid. He got a good handle on him. He got the height. He can get 5 blocks easy. Get a couple Defense Player of the Year awards in his career, man. Once he gain that weight and once he develop in year 2, year 3, man, he gonna be a problem. Yeah. But I wanna talk about the OKC Thunder, chill. Listen, this guy Jalen Williams and this guy Austin Thing, boy, these guys gonna be a problem.
They on to something in Oklahoma City. They definitely on to something in Oklahoma City.
It's gonna be spooky in OKC, bro. We talk about Denver being homegrown, bro. I'm thinking to myself, yo, they can be what I'm not gonna say what KD, James Harden, and Russ gonna be, but it's the same format, man. They got talent, bro.
Yep.
I don't know. I think other than other teams, they do not need to make a trade. They need to develop, keep doing what they're doing there. OKC, these rookies are dogs. Dogs, man.
If you could get Chet to stay healthy, right? If you could get Chet to stay healthy, they may have to upgrade at the 2-guard spot. I'm not sure if Lou Dort, they either got to upgrade at the 2-guard spot or he has to get better. I don't need him to be 19, 20 a game as a scorer, but I do need him to be able to consistently knock down an open shot. I do need that from him. And if he can't do that, then they do have to upgrade. But I think in their front court, I think they got it right with both the Jalen Williams. Both these kids, I think they got it right with them. I think with the exception of health, watching Chet in the summer league, I think they got it right with him. If he can stay healthy, I do think that they got it right with him. We already see the maturation of SGA. What he did was he now accelerated the process. The fact that he's gotten better. Now the rest of these dudes, they got to get better. But I'm 100% confident that they on to something in Oklahoma City.
Listen.
Yes, they are, and they're doing it the right way. I mean, because you're talking about a team. I think they had over the next 5 years, they got something like 16 first-round picks or some nonsense like that. So I mean, they got a bunch of ones, and they building it the right way. So they definitely on to something in Oklahoma City. Yes.
Listen, listen real quick. I saw. Sometimes you look at teams and you just see signs of greatness coming. I remember I saw the first time OKC played the Lakers in the playoffs, and you saw a young KD, young Russ, and a young James Harden. You're like, yo, it's something. Oh my God, it's something there, man. They're gonna be dominant. When I see Giddey, Shea, and guys like Shet, and then you got Jalen Williams, and this guy Osman Deng is he coming with it. Like this summer league, he paying fear in dude's heart. He just not caring at all. And I'm like, my God, like this is a championship team like in 5 to 6 years. I'm not.
They on to something. They definitely on to something. Yeah, they are.
They're doing a great job, man. So I just want
like what they're doing.
I just want to say that, man. We've seen some players are stepping up. This guy Champagne, their little son, but I'm just saying, man. It's just some rookies you just see, and some teams just draft well on chill.
Well, you have to. When teams like Oklahoma City, teams like San Antonio, New Orleans, you're not bagging free agents. Nobody's coming to San Antonio, right, as a free agent. Nobody's coming to Minnesota. So you got to get it right in the draft more than you get it wrong. And I think Oklahoma City has done a great job in evaluating talent. I think they've done a great job in honing that talent. They're definitely on to something down there in Oklahoma City, 100%.
Yeah. I think OKC and San Antonio is in good hands. They're good, stable markets, good environment to develop. Yeah, and I think Wembley, man. I don't know what people saw. They trip off of one thing. I mean, they said LaMelo Ball was even a bum after his first game when he struggled, But, I mean, Wembley, man, this guy's gonna be special, man. I think honestly, he's not gonna be a 30-point per game scorer. I think his realistic, I can see is more of a 25, 26, 13, and 6. 6 blocks a game or something like that, man.
6 blocks. Wow.
I mean, I'm not over exaggerating. It could be around 4, but I mean, he got
4 leads the league. If he's blocking 4, that's leading the league.
Yeah, bro.
That's leading the league.
I mean, his wingspan is just unreal, man. I like, damn. So I know I'm going to the movement 6 blocks. I know it might not happen, but that's how confident I feel in the man. And with Pop. Yeah. He's going to put that defensive scheme in you, no matter what. All the great players in San Antonio play defense. When Tony Parker struggled, there was another guy in the back that Popovich groomed and developed into a defensive player to help Tony Parker. You know what I'm saying? So, we gotta wait and see, man. Just wait until year 2, year 3 to judge these players. Not just no damn summer league. What are we tripping or something?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But you know how it works. It's all projections.
Did y'all, Rob?
Yeah, I have a question. Cause everybody's talking about summer league. I want to show love to Max Christie and his development so far, and I want to ask y'all about your opinions about him right now.
Well, I already know what Laker fans. I already know how Laker fans are, but I like this kid. I do. The difference is that I don't really concern myself with these guys right now. And the reason why I don't concern myself with a guy like Max Christie right now, because I'm thinking about what the Lakers are doing, and I'm thinking about the crew that they have. Is Max going to be able to? Is he going to be able to crack that rotation today? I don't think so. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Austin Reeves has been around for a while, and he was able to crack the rotation later on. This team is built to win a championship. Now, Max Christie in years to come, he may be something, but as of right now, I'm not overly impressed with him. But again, it is summer league when you're talking about a guy who's a late first round pick. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see about that. But like I always say, time will tell.
Right.
But we're gonna move along, fellas. Appreciate y'all pulling up.
All right, fellas. Thank you.
We'll see y'all Wednesday though.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I see you Sunday, Bob.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. I still see people in the chat talking about the PC versus FYF King of the Court. That's not happening today. But y'all just be on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
It'll be here soon. I guarantee Ron makes some type of announcement Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of those days. But in the meantime, we did just have a GOAT member on here. Let me shout out the GOAT members. We got Haramis MR, IDWC, Avion Plummer, Dorian Clayton, Alejandro Rodriguez, and Terry. If you want to be a GOAT member, you just click on that link. It's real simple, extremely painless. Let's get back to some of these super chats. You know, super chats, as y'all all know, our priority. We don't miss any super chats.
They run the show.
From Preston Kelly, we got to cut Miller some slack. The Hornets Summer League literally has no offensive structure. He would look a lot better with Melo running the system.
That's fair. So. I think so. I do.
And you know, I'm actually kind of just overlooked that, and that's extremely fair. So let's not be too hard on the young fella. FIFA boy, Lunshaw ducking the grind and scared of me cooking him as always. Lunshaw, I hear you
calling you out, Huncho. Find him.
You better keep that same energy on Wednesday, FIFA boy.
Yes, sir.
Nathan Kingsley, need more Jermaine. He's the best. No shade to others. I don't know who he's talking about.
You talking about me? I don't know who you're talking about.
I guess we're just gonna assume that Chilltown. We need that he needs some more, more shows, from you, Chilltown. We know you're working hard, but man, we need some more. We need some more, Chill. From Big Dubs, Crawford versus Spence. Who y'all got, and are y'all going to watch the fight?
Ain't that that's the UFC fight tonight? I think it is.
No, that's that boxing fight. Earl Spence and Crawford.
Is that the heavyweight fight tonight?
No, I think they're lightweight. I think they're like welterweights or middleweights.
Man, I ain't really been that tuned into boxing. I have not been that tuned into boxing as much as I used to be, man. And I got to get more tuned in. Spence, I seen a little bit of Spence. I'll be interested. I'm gonna go do my homework on it. So I'll be lying if I said that I know about Crawford and about Spence, because I don't. I do not.
Yeah, I mean the little I do know. I got Crawford in this one, so we'll see.
All right.
Those are the wait, hold on. No, we got one. That's it. That's all the super chats. Let me real quick pull up Zay in the clutch and Colin and see what y'all got real quick.
What up?
Hey, what up?
What up?
What's good?
What up?
Colin, you got a wacky mic, Colin. I don't. There's a lot of static going on. Yeah. What's up, Zay?
Yo, what's good, guys? Hey, chill, real quick. Just to go back on the old topic with the overrated or the underrated team, right? I think the starting five I'd put World Be Free in my one. I'll put Michael Cooper at the two. I'll put Marquise Johnson at my three. Antoine Jameson at my four. And I'll put Artis Gilmore at my five.
Artis Gilmore was nice too. Yes, he was.
Best bull before Jordan.
He was nice. Yes, he was. He was nice. I'll give it up to him. Yeah, Artis Gilmore was nice. Anton Jameson, like, we don't talk about the fact he was like a 20-8 guy for a lot of years.
Oh yeah, he was leading the Warriors for a few years.
Yeah, he was buckets, yo. Yeah, he was a bucket getter. I dug Anton Jameson game coming out of college. He was nice. He was that dude right from the beginning. Yeah, I dig Anton Jameson 100%. 100%. I dig him, no doubt. What up?
Oh yeah.
You got that mic fix.
What up, Colin?
Hey man,
no, Colin, it's still pretty bad, bro.
Yeah, we can't hear you. That mic is whack,
good, man. So maybe next time though, Colin, we'll get you.
We'll try to get you back on. So
I had a question about. I don't want to keep on bringing up because I know people for the past week or two constantly been talking about Damian Lillard and the trades and whatnot. But because recently there's been reports that his agent's been calling teams telling them if they trade for Dame, they'll get an unhappy player. But do you think that if another team other than Miami, if Miami's not giving Portland a good deal and there's a team out there giving them a better deal, they're still a playoff contending team, and Dame, they get Dame, they have a chance of going further than they make it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Dame is going to be the type of player to where he'll kind of pull like what James Harden was doing before he left the Rockets, where like he won't care, he won't do what he needs to do? Like, do you think he's the type of player that just won't show up?
There's only a few players that I've seen in the league that are ballers. Like KD is a baller.
Oh,
like if they would have told KD wanted to play in Phoenix, but if KD would have got shipped to New Orleans, he would have played there.
Mm-hmm.
If KD would have got shipped to Dallas, or not even Dallas, take Dallas off the table. If he would have got shipped to Washington, he would have played there. Damian Lillard is a baller at the end of the day. And and not only is Damian Lillard a baller, he's a pro.
Sure.
And I've seen plenty of players who are quote unquote unhappy with the trade, but they will show up. Not only will they show up, they will perform. So if Damian Lillard got shipped to Minnesota, he might not love it, but he will show up. Not only will he show up, he will play. He's not one of these dudes. He's not one of these guys. I think that's all posturing. I think that's all grandstanding with these agents. Yo, I'm gonna be unhappy. He could be unhappy, but he's gonna show up and he's gonna perform. He's not gonna go there and risk his professional reputation by not playing or by playing subpar. Because again, Damian Lillard is very conscious of how people view him as a ball player. And if he ends up in, I don't know, San Antonio, he's not going down to San Antonio just dogging it like, man, I don't want to be here and looking whack. No, he's going down to San Antonio and he's going to kick some ass.
Yeah. I think from the agent's point of view, though, I think that's more so nature of the business than anything. I think he's just trying to get his client what he wants. But like Chilltown said, Dame a hooper. He's not going to be sitting around not playing ball.
For sure. Well, how long or how much longer does Dame have on his current contract? 4 more years?
Damn, I thought it was.
So when he opted into his player option in the 24-25 season, that's when he got his extension. Portland put another 2 years and I believe it was $123 million on what it already was on.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm wondering, is there a way that this draws out to the trade deadline, or is this getting done this summer?
Well, I don't think it's getting done this summer, to be honest with you. I would not be surprised if Damian Lillard on opening night was on the Portland Trailblazers. That would not surprise me one bit. If he was still on the Portland Trailblazers, I'm not sure if it's getting done because, again, Miami does not have the assets to give Portland what they need and stay a contender. They don't.
No,
they do
and
not.
Even the assets they have, it seems like they're kind of holding back on even trying to get rid of those.
Mm-hmm. I think Pat Riley, as much as he wants Damian Lillard, I don't think he's interested in gutting his crew for him. I don't.
No, I definitely don't.
I don't feel like he's willing to do that. I don't.
Yeah. Zay, you had anything else?
No, that's about it, man.
All right, brother. Good to talk to you.
Appreciate you pulling up, bro.
All right, brother. Sure.
Great show. Great group. We had some great groups, great questions, great point of views today. We did get a couple more super chats. Let's knock these out before we get out of here, Chilltown.
Yes, sir.
Be the G says Max Christie will be in the rotation this coming year, Chilltown. Bet it.
All right, I'm gonna pay attention to him. Yeah, I will pay attention.
Yeah, we pulling for you, Max.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling for you to destroy the Lakers squad. I hope you get in there and just be a mole and just shoot 20% from 3-point line all year.
Mm-hmm. Bricking all night. It's bricks.
Every time LeBron passes the ball, you dribble it off your foot.
Throw it in the sand.
What's your guys' fave 2 playoff series ever? Mine is 06 Spurs versus Mavs or 16 Spurs versus Heat.
So the 13. So he likes the 06 Mavs, Spurs, and the 13. So those 2 finals. The 16 NBA finals between the Cavs and the Warriors, and then the 93 Eastern Conference Championship between the Bulls and the Knicks. Those 2 are my favorite. It was a couple that's really close, like the 87 finals, the 13 NBA finals. But in terms of a playoff series, the 93 Eastern Conference Championship and the 16 NBA finals.
Yeah, great series.
Mm-hmm.
I like the one series I remember. I want to say it might have been 11 or 12. Was that Bulls versus Celtics? I like that Rajon matchup with the D Rose. That was some exciting games.
Yeah, it was. Didn't like 5 of the 7 games go into overtime or something crazy like that?
Yeah, something like that. I know it was coming down to the wire. I love
Yeah.
it. But so we have hold on, got one more. We kind of spoke on this, but your time if you want to go into it.
We talked about it. Yeah, man. The fact that he's playing behind Fred VanVleet, I think it's going to be good. He's got a really good feel for the game. He's got a really good upside. Him and Jabari Parker, I think the Houston Rockets got a really bright future, man. They on their way to something. Yes, they are. They definitely on their way to something. They're definitely on their way to something. Feeling that.
Well, that about does it, y'all. We appreciate everybody that came through. Please make sure to like the video on your way out. Chill Town, what you got for the people?
Drink water. Put a suit on. Don't drink and drive. Take it light, but take it.
Oh, real quick, Big Don Rich. How far away are the Blazers if Dame stays?
They're not close. They're not close. They weren't a playoff team with him on the crew. Adding Scoot does not make them a playoff team. They're not. They're still not close to winning. No, they're not.
Right. Well, all right, y'all. We'll see y'all Wednesday on Chill with Chill, and we will see y'all on Monday on the panel. Y'all, we'll see y'all. Have a good day. Love yourself.
Yes, sir.